We acknowledge that the land on which we gather in Treaty 6 territory is the traditional gathering place for many Indigenous people. We honor and respect the history, languages, ceremonies, and culture of the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who call this territory home. I love being at home. Most of us do. Home is where all my favorite stuff and people are. 99.99% of Canadians have one. We can do what we want, decorate however we choose. Maybe in these last long months we have been at home too much, but we wouldn't give up our home willingly. Just walk out of our home and never come back? This is not the experience of a small group of people, the homeless. You've seen the classic homeless with shopping carts, passed out in public, or bundled up in a sleeping bag on the street. Most you don't see. Shame and embarrassment keep people in the shadows. Some people are hiding from violent partners who would hurt them. There are many reasons why they have ended up here. Some have lost their jobs, and in a time like COVID, it's not hard to imagine. It's hard to cover your bills without an income. Others are experiencing mental illness. This can be like the movies where you talk to your invisible friend, but most are not those. It's hard to hold a job until you get medical treatment and get better. Mental illness can prevent you from thinking clearly, understanding your situation, and making good choices. It can stop you, just like cancer or kidney disease or broken whatever, but there are fewer outward signs. The world is a wonderful place, and there are many ways to be sick. The worst reason to have to leave your home is experiencing violence and abuse. Remember that safe, cozy place I talked about at the beginning? Yeah, not that place. Family violence makes people leave home quickly, and without a safe landing place to go, people find themselves on the street with nothing. So, what do we do about homelessness? We do agree that somebody should do something, but the how is still disputed. After the Second World War, Canadians helped create the International Declaration of Human Rights. Sounds cool, huh? It covers topics like choosing your representation and how elections should be held, who has a right to vote, what kind of access to education we should all have, and our right to get together in groups. You remember groups. You see them on TV sometimes. I'll link it below so you can read more, and you should. Canadians have acted internationally as peacekeepers, helping people in crises worldwide based on these very human rights. Our politicians will talk about other countries' human rights records, and they are talking about the rights according to this international declaration. Article 25 discusses the role governments have in ensuring that people have food, shelter, and necessary medical and social services. A government is not just to collect taxes, enforce laws, and create bureaucratic red tape, but to help people in need. So the next time you hear about a government using tax dollars to help shelter people, well, this is what they're supposed to do. As for human rights, well, we have our own human rights record to clean up here in Canada.